Hello children, today we are going to do Physical Features of India Part 2 as we have started this chapter in the previous class. So today we have continuation part of the chapter. In previous class we already learned what are the physical features of India and how they were formed. And today we are going to learn more about that physical features of India. So let me begin with this. Major physiographic divisions. The physical features of India can be grouped under the following: the Himalayan mountains, the northern plains, the peninsular plateau, the Indian desert, the coastal plains, and the islands. So we have 6 important physiographic divisions in India, and we are going to learn in detail about each of these 6 physical features of India. So let me begin with the Himalayan mountains. The Himalayas are fold mountains which cover the northern part of India. We know how was Himalaya formed. So let me remind it again. Himalaya was formed due to the collision of the two plates, the Indian plates and the Eurasian plate. When these two plates converge toward each other, the seas which separate these two plates, known as Tethys Sea, the floor of the sea folded due to the movement of, or what to say, this one, converging of the two plates. That was how Himalayan mountain was formed. They are geologically young as compared to the other mountain ranges in India. The Himalayan range is the highest and the most rock mountain range in the world. It extends from river Indus in the west to the Brahmaputra in the east. And let's have some more characteristic of Himalayan mountains. This one is forming an arc shape about 2,400 kilometer. The width of this range varies from 400 kilometer in Kashmir to 150 kilometer in Arunachal Pradesh. That means width varies from west to east. Altitudes of the mountains vary. More altitude is found in the western part, and the Himalaya consists of 3 parallel ranges that are the Himadri, the Himachal, and the Sivalik. So we have to know in detail about these 3 parallel ranges of Himalaya: the Himadri, the Himachal, and the Sivalik. So here we have the inner Himalaya or the Himadri. It is the most continuous ranges, consisting of the loftiest peak with an average height of 6,000 meters. So this one is found in the innermost part, that is the northernmost part. We have this inner Himalaya or the Himadri, and we have the average height of this Himalaya, that is 6,000 meter, and it contains the highest peak of the world. And the great Himalayan folds are asymmetrical in nature, and the core of this part of Himalaya is composed of granite rock, and it has permanently covered with snow, and a number of glaciers descend from this range. So we have lot of different kinds of glaciers here. Next, we have the second parallel range just south of the northernmost Himalaya. We have Himachal. So the hill range lying to the south of the Himadri forms the most rugged mountain, and this is known as Himachal or Lesser Himalaya. So another name of Himachal is Lesser Himalaya, and the rock of this mountain range are compressed and altar rocks, and altitudes of this Himalayas varies from 3,700 to 4,500 meters, and average height is of 50 kilometer. And here we have important ranges like Pir Panjal that forms the longest ranges in Himachal and the most important range. And we have Dauladhar and Mahabharata ranges also here in this part of the Himalaya, and the range consists of the famous valleys of Kashmir, the Kangra, Kulu. These are the important valleys found here in Himachal part of the Himalayan mountain range. The region is well known for its hill stations. And next we have the southernmost Himalayas, that is Sivaliks. The outermost range of the Himalayas is called the Sivaliks, and they extend for a width of 10 to 50 kilometer. So this one is the narrowest one as compared to the other two, and have an altitude varying between 900 and 1100 meters, and height is also less as compared to other two section of the Himalayas that we just discussed. These ranges are composed of unconsolidated sediments brought down by rivers from the main Himalayan ranges and located farther north. These valleys are covered with thick gravel and alluvium, so rocks are also different. The longitudinal valley lying between the Lesser Himalaya and the Sivalik are what we know as dunes. So let me repeat it again. What is dunes? The longitudinal valleys lying between Lesser Himalayas and the Sivalik are known as dunes. And we have important dunes like Dera Dune, Kotli Dune, and Patli Dune. Next. After we complete this three parallel ranges of Himalaya, we have division of Himalaya from east to west. The Himalayas are also divided into regions from east to west and have been demarcated by river valleys. For example, the part of Himalayas lying between the Indus River and Satluj River has been traditionally known as Punjab Himalayas, but it's also known as Kashmir and Himachal Himalayas from west to east, respectively. So, here we have the picture that is showing different section of Himalaya from west to east. Here we have the Indus River. Here we have Indus River, and here we have Satluj River. So in between these two rivers, we have the section of Himalaya is known as Kashmir Himalaya, and we have we have Satluj River here, and here we have Kali River. In between these two rivers, the section of the Himalaya is known as Kumaun Himalayas, and we have here Nepal Himalaya. We have here Nepal Himalayas in between Kali River and Tista River, and we have Assam Himalaya in between Tista River and Dihang River. So this is the section of Himalaya from west to east. After we have the idea about Himalayas, next we have the northern plains, that is the second important physical features of India. So let's have detailed account of this northern plain of India. The northern plain is located in southern part of the Himalayan range, and it has been formed by the deposition of three major river system of India, that is the Indus, the Ganga, and the Brahmaputra, along with their tributaries. So we know that this is the plain which is formed by deposition of sediment carried down by the three river system and along with their tributaries. So the Ganga and the Brahmaputra along with their tributaries, as I said, Indus, this all are contributing in the formation of this northern plain. The northern plain is also known as Indo-Gangetic plain. So this plain is formed of alluvial soil. So what is alluvial soil? This is a soil formed by sedimentation of fragment of rocks, or you can say deposition of sediment for a long period of time. The soil formed in that way is known as alluvial soil. So alluvium was deposited by the three river system in the vast basin at the foothill of the Himalayas. Here, I would like to say alluvial and alluvium difference. Alluvium is the sediment carried down by the river, and this alluvium is deposited for a long period of time and from the soil is alluvial. So that is the difference. So alluvium was deposited by the three river system in the vast foothill areas of the Himalayas and forming this fertile plain of India. And it spread over an area of 5 lakh square kilometer, the plain being about 2,400 kilometer long and 240 to 320 kilometer broad. And it is a densely populated physiographic division of India. Why it is densely populated? Because the basic needs like water is available, fresh water is available in uh, enough quantity, soil is fertile, land is plain, so all this support high density of population here. The material deposited by a river, as its velocity reduces, they create riverine island, and due to the deposition of huge quantity of silk, river split into numerous channels called distributaries. So here I would like to say what is this riverine island. In the river channel itself, because of the deposition of sediments in the river valley itself, landmass, or what to say this one, landform is developed, small landform is developed, and that's what we call riverine island. And due to the deposition of huge quantity of silk that block the flow of water, and then the river channel is divided into numerous channel, then that is what we know as distributaries. So let's have some more information about the northern plain. After we know the formation and some basic characteristic, we have division of this northern plain of India. The western part of the northern plain is referred to as the Punjab plains and formed by Indus and its tributaries. So this Punjab plain is formed by Indus and its tributaries, and the larger part of this plain lies in Pakistan. The Indus and its tributaries. So what are the tributaries? The Jhelum, the Chenab, the Ravi, the Beas and Sutlej. These all are originated in the Himalayas, and this section is dominated by the dwarfs. So this section of Himalaya have lot of dwarfs. So what is this dwarf? Dwarf word means the lane where two river join. So the place where two river join is dwarf. So we have dwarfs here in this Punjab plain. Next, after the Punjab plain, we have the Ganga plain extend between between Ghaggar and Tista river. It is spread over North India. So Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar, partly Jharkhand and West Bengal to its east. Particularly in Assam lies the Brahmaputra plain. So we have Brahmaputra plain. There is a quite bit of variety of relief features in the northern plain. So what are that? It can be divided into four regions. We can divide the northern plain of India into four regions or four sections: Bhabha, Tarai, Bhangar and Khadar. So let's know about this four section or four division of northern plain of India. The Bhabha region is a narrow belt of level surface lying parallel to the slope of the Shivalik mountains. So it's about 8 to 16 kilometer in wide and consists of pebbles deposited by rivers. Streams and rivers re-emerge and create a wet, swampy, marshy region known as Tarai. Then, largest part of the northern plain is formed of older alluvium and lie above the floodplain of the river and present a terrax-like feature. This part is known as Bhangar, and the newer younger deposits of the floodplains are called Khadar. So here we have four sections of the northern plain of India. What I have said, first one is Bhabha, second Tarai, third Bhangar, and fourth Khadar. Next, we move on to the third important physical feature of India, that is the Peninsular Plateau. So plateaus are also called tablelands. And the Peninsular Plateau is also a tableland. So it was formed due to breaking of Gondwana. How was this Peninsular Plateau of India was formed? It was once a part of the oldest landmass of the world, that is Pangaea, and when this Pangaea broke into different pieces, one of the piece was this peninsular part of India. So it was formed like that. So it is the oldest landmass of India. Among the physical feature, this one is the oldest, as it was once a part of the oldest landmass called Pangaea. So before the formation of any other physical feature of India, it was formed. So it is composed of the all crystalline rock, that is igneous and metamorphic rock. So the rock here is igneous and metamorphic, and the Peninsular Plateau consists of two broad divisions, Central Highland and Deccan Plateau. So these are the two divisions of Peninsular Plateau of India. The flow of the river named Chambal, the Sindh and Betwa and Ken is flowing from southwest to northeast. So these are the river that flows from southwest to northeast. An eastward extension locally known as Bundelkhand and this one Bakhelkhand. This is the extension of Peninsular Plateau towards the east. Chotanagpur Plateau marked the further eastward extension, drained by River Damodar. The Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat mark the western and eastern edges of the Deccan Plateau respectively. The highest peak include the Anaimudi and the Dodaveta. Mahendragiri is the highest peak in the Eastern Ghat. So one of the distinct features of the Peninsular Plateau is the black soil, which is known as Deccan Trave. So the rocks are igneous and denuded over time and are responsible for the formation of it. So Deccan Plateau is well known for the growth of cotton. After Deccan Plateau, we have the Indian Desert. The Indian Desert lies toward the western margin of India, that is, western margin of the Aravalli Hills. So this region receives very low rainfall below 150 mm per year. It has arid climate. As rainfall is less, so climate is arid with low vegetation cover. And the river flowing here is Luni. Luni is the only large river in this region. And we have some characteristic features like Barkhan cover large part of this area, but longitudinal dunes also prominent here near the Indo-Pakistan boundary. That is, these are the prominent features here in Indian desert. Next, we have the coastal plain. The Peninsular Plateau is flanked by coastal plains running along the Arabian Sea on the west and the Bay of Bengal on the east. The western coast sandwiched between the Western Ghat and Arabian Sea. This is a narrow plain. So the northern part of the coast is called the Konkan. Mumbai to Goa, we have the narrow plain. That's what we know as Konkan, starting from Mumbai to Goa. And central stretch is called the Kannada plain, while the southern stretch is known as Malabar coast. Like that, this narrow plain is divided into three sections. So the plain along the Bay of Bengal are wide, level. In the northern part, it is referred to as the northern Chikar, while the southern part is known as Coromandel Coast. So we have two divisions of the coastal plain of India on eastern side. So large rivers such as Mahanadi, the Godavari, the Krishna, the Kaveri have formed extensive delta on this lake. Lake Chilika has an important feature along the eastern coast. So eastern coastal plain and western coastal plain we have. Coastal area is divided into two. And this two coastal plain is again divided into its subdivision. In the western we have three sections, in the eastern we have two sections. Konkan, central part, Kannad and Malabar are on the western side, and Chikar and the Coromandel on the eastern side. So after we have the characteristic features of the coastal plain of India, next we have the islands of India. We have two groups of islands in India, the Lakshadweep and the Andaman and Nicobar. So Lakshadweep Island is composed of the small coral island. Coral island means it is formed due to the depositions of this coral. After the death of the coral, this skeleton and secrets all are deposited and form. This is what we know as coral island. So what is coral? Coral is a small polyps live in the ocean. So they are earlier known as Lakshadweep. Earlier name of the Lakshadweep is Lakshadweep, Minicoy and Mindiv, and were named as Lakshadweep. After that, it's named as Lakshadweep. This island group has great diversity of flora and fauna. The Piti Island, which is uninhabited, has a bird sanctuary. These are Andaman and Nicobar Island. Next, we have Andaman and Nicobar Island. Before I come to Andaman and Nicobar Island, let's have a look of this Lakshadweep Island. Here we have the picture of Lakshadweep Island in the left side and Andaman Nicobar Island in the right side. Next we come to the conclusion. A detailed account of the different physiographic units highlight the unique features of each region. It would, however, be clear that each region complement the other and makes the country richer in its natural resources. So the mountains are the major source of the important resources like water and forest wealth. Northern plains are granaries of the country as it is the most productive part, while the plateau is a storehouse of minerals. So all the physical features are very, very important. So the coastal region and the island group provide site for fishing and port activities. So what we can say is the diverse physical features of the land have immense future possibilities of development. So with this, we end the chapter